Hey all, Dr. Jared here, proudly coming to you with part two of our summer weight loss masterclass. I want to start by just appreciating all of you that have already watched part one and really thought about where they're at, what they're looking to do, what your reasons for wanting to lose weight are, or what maybe even just what's stopping you and how you would feel by implementing or by choosing to make changes or choosing to dig in this spring, or really, frankly, whenever you're happen to be watching this. But really thinking back to the first masterclass, and even getting to talk to some of you as you've come in these last several days. One thing I think that's important is that if you're looking to make some changes, I've already had people lose several pounds just by doing things like increasing water or cutting out bread, or it's amazing what that small shift can do, and what your body will release, whether it's detoxing or whatever. Also talking about exercise. I had a couple people ask me about exercise specifically when we talked about doing heavier weightlifting or doing the HIIT training. Well, a couple things about exercise. First of all, it absolutely does increase your metabolism and can aid in weight loss and strengthening your metabolism. Most research, most of the studies that I've looked at do show that while exercise is great for increasing your metabolism, it's great for your heart, it's great for a whole variety of things. About 80 to 90% of weight loss comes around what you're putting into your body. However, exercise certainly can help more with body shape, fitness, the way you want to look, on top of the health benefits. And one of the things that we covered, what I would consider to be pretty extensively in the first masterclass, was what we call in Max Living the core plan, working to get 1% better every day, starting to have certain minimum standards about what you're willing to do or not willing to do, such as drinking more water, not eating after a certain time period, intermittent fasting, whatever that may be, and really working to get to more core nutrition. If you want a step-by-step guide on exactly what foods to eat, those are available to you if you went on YouTube and typed in Chiropractic First of Rockford and then typed in Nutrition 101. Nutrition 101, we have a step-by-step guide on that. It's also available in any of our books, whether that's the Cruise Ship or Nursing Home book, Align Your Health book, or now we call them the mini books. So we have short books. And so if you're an active client, we have those available to you complimentary. Also, as I said in the first one, if you're really looking for some help or support and you are an active client, you can set up a complimentary appointment with Mackenzie, our nutritionist, and she'd be happy to do a food journal with you, go over some of these things, and try and help you figure out what option is best for you to get the results that you want. And so as we dive in here, a lot of what may be limiting people, especially as you're aging, is certain stressors, hormones, hormone imbalances, having low testosterone or too much estrogen or too much cortisol, or a variety of those things. And so a couple of things I want to hit as we get started. I couldn't help think, like, as I got ready to record this morning, the first thing I do, make that same water and protein that I talked about on the last masterclass. It's just most days a staple of the way that I personally start my day. But looking at a few things. Number one, that you might not think about, that again doesn't cost you anything, doesn't even have to change the way that you eat, maybe needs to change the way that you act, but one of those things is sleep. There are, in the book Why We Sleep, probably the best book I've ever read on sleep. And talks about people that have or hold on to weight is dramatically higher with people who get 6 hours or less of sleep per night on average versus people who get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And so, if you struggle with Netflix binges, if you, maybe you just need to set a limit on when you turn the screens off. At our house, all screens are off at 8:30, whether that's phone, whether that's TV. even if you're not tired, if not allowing a screen allows your body to get bored, allows your brain to get bored, allows you to rest, allows you to think, allows you to sort. But picking a time, especially during the week, that you just flat out don't allow those things, but getting good quality sleep. And if you struggle with sleep, we do carry certain supplements that can help with sleep, like our supplement called Sleep and Mood. But getting quality sleep can absolutely aid in hormone balance and weight gain. Second thing, which is a little tougher to handle, which is stress. There's a whole variety of stress management techniques, like journaling, like seeing a counselor, like exercise, like, again, sleep, whatever it might be. And again, one of the things about stress is you can't fully avoid stress, but it's how your mind or how your body processes the stress. And then the last one is stress hormones. And so one of the things that a lot of people develop over time through chronic stress is adrenal fatigue or high cortisol levels. And so there are certain supplements that can help with that. We carry several supplements that can help your body lower cortisol. One that I take very frequently is called Max Fit, which has ashwagandha, green coffee bean extract, and a variety of other things. That is shown to increase metabolism and help with weight loss. Another thing to look at is caffeine consumption, especially later in the day. Caffeine, depending on the person, can have anywhere from a 5 to 12 hour amount of time that it takes to get out of your system. So there's plenty of debate on whether or not caffeine's good or bad for you in the morning. Also, dosage is important. So again, like, 50 to 100 milligrams is in a cup of coffee is way different than 300 milligrams in a cup of Starbucks, or like a Celsius drink that's 200 milligrams, and then additionally consuming it more through the day or later in the day absolutely increases cortisol levels, increases stress hormones, and is linked to weight gain. So cutting down on your overall caffeine or cutting out caffeine for a period of time is another thing that can really significantly affect your energy levels positively and can aid in weight loss or weight loss resistance. So those are a few things to really look at. As we look then beyond that, another thing that we've talked about already, but that you want to look at for yourself, are your hormones. So it's so common. And again, if you read certain studies, like men's testosterone is half, sometimes a quarter of what it was if you look 100 years ago. Now, why is that? It's for the same reasons that we have extended life expectancy and the same reasons we have increased convenience. So linking what they've linked it to is a lot of the things that we've done to make life easier, whether that's plastic in water bottles, whether that's chemicals in air conditioning units, or things that we clean or sanitize with. The reason I said that makes us live longer is, sanitation is probably the thing that's most linked to increased life expectancy, way more than actually any major medical intervention. But with sanitation and with certain chemical usages, your body has to metabolize and process those. And there are a bunch of things linked to hormone imbalances. Additionally, things like, for instance, makeup, deodorant, certain chemicals, they're linked to increasing estrogen levels, lowering testosterone levels, and then also processed foods. So for instance, processed soy, which is common in a lot of cheap foods, and going back 30 years was actually thought to be a health food. That's linked to is an estrogen blocker, which affects how much testosterone your body can produce. It can increase weight gain. So processed foods are just another thing. And so there is just a reality. Part of people gaining weight, or part of the reason America has such what they say, an obesity epidemic, considering how much more the average American weighs than they did 30 or 50 or 70 years ago, is not just food consumption, but the genetic modification, the increase in processed foods. There's so many things. So there's no debate that it does take more work to be thin. It does take more work to lose weight. It does take more work if you're weight loss resistant, because there is a whole variety of things. And so that might not be fair, but it is just the reality. So if you have this drive, if you want to be healthier, if you want to live long, if you want to be look a certain way, be the fun grandma, grandpa, if you want to get off medications, whatever it might be, there is a reality that takes more work than it might have 30 years ago or 50 years ago. And also another aspect of that is the loss of nutrition in food. So even if you do eat healthy, even if you eat lots of fruits and vegetables, meats, having to go with organic and grass-fed meats, even if you're eating all these things, the amount of nutrients that have been depleted from the soil through both the decrease in local growth of food. So how much nutrition is lost with flying, whatever, bananas from, I'm making this up, but bananas from Argentina or some. So the sourcing of foods worldwide, food is picked earlier. There's less nutrition developed. There's an estimate that if it's over a week old, that there's a 40% nutritional loss after already being significantly nutritionally depleted. So unless you're like growing all your own food on your own farmette, all organic, so on and so forth, you're just flat out nutrient deprived. And so that's where something as simple as taking a whole food multivitamin is essential. So we have a men's and women's multivitamin. We have a kids multivitamin. Kids, of course, are looking for these nutrients to grow, to not develop extra fat cells, to have energy, to have less ADD and ADHD type symptoms. So, in my opinion, a whole food multivitamin is essential for 99+% of all people that are watching this. And so if you're in that 1%, great. But for most of you, if you're not taking a whole food multivitamin on a daily basis, you're probably missing nutrients. When many people take that are nutrient deficient, they notice they have better satiety, meaning that they're more full, they have more energy, their metabolism goes up. Because remember also, for you to metabolize the foods that you eat, the baseline thing is called the Krebs cycle. You might remember that from high school or from junior high. But if you're at the Krebs cycle with a K, K-R-E-B-S, the Krebs cycle, it almost looks like stairs. Like there's, I forget, 12 or 13 steps to metabolize your food for energy. And if you're missing any of those things, you can decrease the amount of food that you're able to metabolize. Also, if you're on medications, that can decrease it. This is one of the reasons that it just drives me crazy that so many people are, for instance, on like a statin for cholesterol. Because what does it do? It actually inhibits one of the key things that your liver produces, which is called CoQ10. And inhibiting CoQ10 can stop your body's ability to utilize the Krebs cycle. It stops it almost right about halfway. And so you're taking something to prevent heart disease, and then you're decreasing your metabolism and increasing weight gain, which what does it do? Increases your risk of heart disease. I mean, some of these things, the same thing they're meant to prevent, indirectly, they may be causing more of, and possibly even causing more harm than good. And so that's not something that your doctor tells you when they prescribe the medication. They say, hey, your cholesterol's high, let's try this to decrease it. Or, hey, it's probably genetic. Don't worry about changing too much, switch this. And so we could go on a whole side conversation about that, but there's just a reality when you're talking about metabolism. If you're consuming medications, you may be inhibiting some of these things. If you are consuming medications and you want to see what you should supplement with, we do offer genetic testing that you can do through nutritionist McKenzie that actually will look at what your body, like what medications you're on, and then what you need to supplement to offset the side effects of those medications. So if you need or have to be, or because of, having a stent put in or something that's non-reversible, that you need to be on certain medications, that's something to consider, as well as what do you need to therefore consume supplement-wise so that you are truly not having these side effects. So those are some things to think about. And I would say, again, to summarize, a must is a whole food multivitamin for most people. So the last part of this seminar, what we're going to go through is the 2 nutritional programs that are most effective or the 2 nutritional program styles that are most effective for quick and long-term weight loss. So, and they're actually, in some ways, they're polar opposites in how you're consuming the food macros that you're eating, how fast they are, what they're trying to do, why they might fit you. And ultimately, though, their outcome is very similar. The main thing that's occurring is we're trying to provide what's called hormone-based weight loss, meaning for most people that are weight loss resistant, their body is producing too much insulin and they're insulin resistant. If you're a type 2 diabetic, you can be guaranteed that you're insulin resistant. That's the type of diabetes that your body has developed. That's literally what the name indicates. But what happens is your body either uses when it's burning for energy, it predominantly rotates between fat and carbs. So metabolizing sugars or metabolizing body fat. And so you have different hormones and they're inverse, insulin versus ghrelin. And so the fat burning hormone, for instance, at night, your body should switch over and produce more or release more of your fat burning hormone, and you should burn fat for energy all night. If you do intermittent fasting, this is why you wouldn't be hungry for 12 or 14 or 16 hours. If you eat low carb eating, like carnivore, certain eating right for your blood types, the advanced plan, any of that kind of stuff, your body is burning fat for energy. A way to know you're not burning fat for energy is if you're hungry every 2 to 3 hours. That means you're burning carbs. Carbs are typically the every 2 to 3 hour hunger range. If you've ever, like people that say like, I'm hungry in the middle of the night, absolutely are burning carbs for energy. So if you're burning carbs for energy, essentially you're getting depleted. And so you're not able to burn body fat. So you need to get to a point where you essentially decrease your carbohydrate load to not produce so much insulin and not burn carbs for energy as much, so that you start to burn more fat for energy. So there's 2 different eating programs that I'm going to talk about today. One is called the advanced plan. So if you've watched our past seminars, there's the core plan and then there's the advanced plan. The advanced plan has much more, I'll say strict rules, but it literally has no calorie restriction, meaning that you can eat as many calories as you see fit, and yet you're still going to get the hormone-based weight loss. The other program, and frankly, the one that is faster, does have calorie restriction, and both of them have macro restriction. So the other one we call a metabolic reset, or the actual brand name is called ChiroThin. So ChiroThin is the brand name for that. But it's a metabolic reset. It's getting your body and forcing it to burn body fat through low calorie eating, very minimal fat consumption, and then specific supplements that maybe are in the same arena as what some of the harmful medical drugs do, meaning that they're going to suppress your appetite and increase metabolism. That's the idea behind the supplements, and that's why it's faster. So that's a paid program, and it's managed through nutritionist McKenzie. Or there's the advanced plan, which you can direct yourself and doesn't have the same restriction. Both, if done well over a period of 2 weeks or more, absolutely give and get hormone-based weight loss. Typically, you'd want to do these anywhere from 10 at the minimum, ideally 14. The advanced plan, at least 30, and the metabolic reset, the ideal round to do is 42 total days. So I'm first going to go through the advanced plan rules, and then I'm going to go through the metabolic reset rules. And then if you are really looking to lose weight quickly, you should think about which one's right for you. And if you'd like help with that, again, set your complimentary consultation up. So So as far as the advanced plan has 5 basic rules. Number 1, you're going to cut out all refined carbohydrates. So cutting out all refined carbohydrates, no breads, no rices, no pastas, no nothing. The second thing you're going to do is limit high glycemic and moderate glycemic fruits. So really you're going to eat vegetables, meat, and fat. So vegetables, meat, some dairy, and fat. So you're even going to, even for fruits, it's like berries, Granny Smith apples, and citrus, and some citrus fruits like lemon, lime, grapefruit, things like that. And the vegetable side, you can pretty much eat any vegetable, but you're going to cut out the really starchy vegetables like potatoes. Our mini books and our other nutrition books have the rules for the advanced plan. They also have recipes, shopping lists. So this is something that you can be aided or supported in, but the advanced plan, you're going to really cut carbs for a minimum of 2 weeks. That's going to starve your body's insulin levels. And so your pancreas will start to produce less insulin. And as it produces less insulin, the other cells in your body are going to become less insulin resistant. And because they're going to become less insulin resistant, you're going to have the opportunity to have less of a sweet tooth, burn more fat, and lose weight. Those are the things that's going to happen. To help aid that, you want to not only look at your carbohydrates, but moderate your proteins. So in the advanced plan, the next thing, so you want to have no more than 30 grams of protein in any 3-hour window. So no more than 30 grams of protein in any 3-hour window. And gotta love it. All right, so no more than 30 grams of protein in any 3-hour window. And then you're going to be allowed to eat as much healthy fat as you want. So avocados, coconut oil, eating salads with extra virgin olive oil, eating a decent amount of nuts and seeds, having the fat that's in healthy meats. You're really not going to restrict the amount of fat in your meats, but obviously you're not going to eat any fried foods or, any of that kind of stuff, because that's going to have carbohydrates wrapped in it usually. And then the last rule of the advanced plan is you're really going to try to minimize toxicity. So the reason why you minimize toxicity is holding on to toxins is actually something that your body tends to store toxicity in your body fat. So it tends to store toxicity in your body fat. And so you may retain weight because you're too toxic. So your body naturally metabolizes a certain amount of toxicity in any given day. So while you're doing this, if you don't put junk food in, if you just really try and minimize the toxicity that you're putting in your body, you're going to tend to lose weight faster. So those are the 5 rules of the advanced plan. As I mentioned already, in our books, even on our website, which is listed in the comments section here, you can get advanced plan recipes, you can get shopping lists, and we'd be happy to, for all active clients, support you through our nutritionist. And you can talk when you're in for adjustments. You can talk to your doctor about it as well. So that's the advanced plan. So think about very specifically if the advanced plan is right for you. And if you are doing it, we'd be happy to support you. As you know, we have scales in the back. You can track your before and after weights, all that kind of stuff. Now the metabolic reset. So the metabolic reset is different. It is, as I mentioned, there's specific supplementation to try and help suppress your appetite and help turn fat burning mode on faster. You may have heard with fat burning mode and low carb eating, you may have heard of something called ketosis. Both of these try and help with ketosis. And that's part of why you moderate your protein. So in both programs, you moderate your protein. There's a certain limit in the amount of, for instance, meat that you're going to eat in the metabolic reset or chirothin. They're going to have very low carb eating. Again, no processed things. There are some certain vegetables that you can have unlimited, even though it's low calorie on chirothin for snacks and in between. But the difference is because of the supplements you're taking and the design of the short-term fast acting, not only are you working to get your body to burn fat, but you're actually also going to severely limit the fat in your diet. So I want to be clear, this is not a good long-term health plan to limit fat in your diet, but in the short term, for 10 to 42 days, limiting the fat, because every person has enough body fat to live off of, this is going to accelerate your fat loss. So we do offer a 10-day if you're like, want to dip your toe in. There's a 10-day program where you can see, and within those 10 days, your body should start to really significantly lose weight. And you can either switch or roll into the 42-day program, or if you need to know, you just need to be strict right away. The 42-day program is available. And with the 42-day program, we do weigh and measure you, measure your body fat percentage. We do measurements, and it's much more guided. If you hit plateaus, we have strategies for helping you get out of those plateaus. So again, the metabolic reset or chirothin is faster. It does on average have a higher total amount of weight loss. However, the advanced plan is excellent. It's the one we've talked about for 15 plus years, and both can and will work well for you. It's just, if you know you're a person who likes to see things fast, if you're a person who can be self-directed or needs support, knows they need somebody to check in on them. As far as testimonials, we did both of these programs and measured them from January into February. You can see online here the pictures of the people that were the weight loss winners, and everything that gets involved with that. Also, if you've been coming to the office for a while, we've had several of our staff members do chirothin and the advanced plan. Dr. Alex lost, I believe, 27 pounds and has kept it off, start from last summer to present. And the other thing, with paid programs that I would say is paid programs should come with more skin in the game on both sides. So if you're going to pay for something, the paid program does come with a guarantee for the amount of weight loss you'll use if you follow through completely on the program. So you have the opportunity to feel more confident that you're going to get the results should you be doing that one. But again, it really is up to you what fits you, which one's better. And ultimately, like I said at the beginning, if you need help or want to assess which one's right for you, schedule the complimentary appointment either by sending us a message directly through our Facebook or chiropracticfirst811@gmail.com, or you can call the office to schedule that. The mystery word for the second part of the masterclass here is nutrition. Mystery word is nutrition. Have a very blessed day.